Hey Chicas! Welcome to Coding for Chicks! Today we're going to learn about comments. Comments are very important because they will tell the other programmers what you were thinking when you wrote the code. We've probably all been in the situation where we thought we would remember something tomorrow or after 1 week or after 1 year, and then when it came to that day, we didn't remember a single thing. Well, this happens to programmers all the time as well. So comments are not only useful for the other guys, but also for you if you have to return to your code that you wrote a year ago or 2 years ago or let's say 10 years ago. So a comment is a line of text or more than one line of text that the compiler or the shell doesn't take into account when running your code. So it's only for the programmers. It's not for the machine that's running the code. So let's say, for example, that we want to tell somebody what this function does. And we would use a comment which starts with a hashtag. And we'd say, this function prints out ponies for a number of ponies amount of times, for example. Or you could write it in your words. Now for the next one. Let's do it again. So we're going to write this function multiplies number 1 and number 2 and returns the outcome, as you can see here. Now there might be the time when you want to put more than one line of comments. And what you can of course do is just put another hashtag. This is another line of comments. Okay? Or there's another way to do it. So to start my comment, I will put 3 quotation marks. As you can see, this text has now turned green. The reason is that it's now included in the comment, since it's a multi-line comment. But if I want to close my comment and not include this, then I just have to close it, for example, down here, and it turns the right color again. And now I can write anything I want in between. Once upon a time, there was a monkey who lived in a... Oh, no, that's a different video. So for this function, we're going to send in number 1 and number 2. We're going to check if number 1 is bigger than number 2, and if it is, we're going to return it, or else we're going to return number 2. So it's going to return the bigger value of the 2. So let's just write that in our comment. This function returns the bigger value of number 1 and number 2. Yes. And it's extremely amazing. I wrote it myself. Please applaud. Like this. Just telling your other coworkers how they should treat you. Nicely. Applauding. Yes. Yeah, but all fun aside, normally you would not write this. No. So now you know how to write your comments. I'm going to erase these lines. I like my comments tied to my functions. I think it looks nicer and it's easier to read. I'm going to talk about how you should set up your code later, but for now, try to make it look the same. Try to be consistent in how you write everything. And try using comments for the things you have done. Explain what you have done. You can put them above the functions or even inside. For example, here. Yeah. Compares number 1 to number 2. For example. You can find all sorts of rules regarding how to comment if you dive into the abyss on the internet. There are also different rules depending on where you work. Some companies have their own rules. For example, a company might want you to write what kind of input you're sending into the function and what kind of output you're getting from the function. For example, here, I might want to write that the number of ponies is going to be an integer. Something like that. There is no right way to do this. The most important thing is to be clear and consistent. Your code has to be readable. So if a new person comes along and sits in front of your computer, they should be able to understand your code. I hope you found this useful, and most of all, I hope you actually use the comments. Comments are like blinkers on a car. Every car car has them, but not all drivers use them. But if they do use them, they're going to be useful for all the other drivers. It's the same way with comments. It's going to be useful for all the other programmers and you actually. Now this is all I have for you today. I encourage you to run along and comment all of your old code. Now make that stuff easy to read. If you liked my video, please leave me a like. If you would like to know when my next video is out, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to comment, feel free to do so and contribute to the nice community of friendly programmers. Thank you for listening. This is Coding for Chicks.